like orange energy around it, so that way it was like another hidden portal to get out of that place, so you could be back in like Maple World. The group could only turn around and around. It could only spin in awe, looking at the serene sight around them. The tree was so massive that as they neared, it was soon apparent the trunk was miles in circumference. A steampunk-inspired machine sat beside the tree, looking similar to a stocky grandfather clock. The trees and brush around them rustled, making them all draw their weapons and stand at the ready, when a man pushed his way through the bushes, brushing off his cloak, and then noticing them with their weapons drawn and aimed at him. Noticed them. Ah, Guardians! Thank you for coming. If you haven't already guessed, I am Andy, he said, taking a small bow, then removing the hood from his head to reveal his light hair. The group reholstered and sheathed their weapons as Nathan stepped forward and knelt with the other 3 apprentices coming with him. We are the Guardian's apprentices, he introduced. Andy nodding to him before Lillian. He said. Andy nodded to him before Lillian stepped forward and crossed her arms. So, what exactly did you need us for? She asked. I called on you because I have lost my time traveler's badge. It's a stopwatch that I think the beetles around here have by accident. I am asking if you would retrieve it for me so that I can return to my own time. In return for getting it back, I'll make copies of it to take you into the future and show you what it is that you will bring forth once you defeat the Black Mage. Helen was a bit skeptical, but admitted that traveling forward in time to see the future they would create was rather enticing. The 6 told their students to stay with Andy while they went back to the Leafray Forest and searched for the watch. Once they were gone, the 4 students turned to Andy and began asking questions. What is it like in the future? Do we defeat the Black Mage once and for all? Do we fly around with jetpacks and flying cars? Are there androids that are human? Whoa, hold on there. You'll be able to see soon enough once I make your time badges. Okay, so another thing to note, at least in the old version of Neo Tokyo, that still all happens. Andy the Time Traveler, you get actually contacted by Andy the Time Traveler and asked to find his stopwatch. The significance of the stopwatch, I don't think the game ever really explained. But if you find the watch, he's able to make you temporary copies of that watch and allows you to go further forward in time, so you can like do your whatever the quests were, so you can like actually help him out. So what's so special about this watch of yours? Antonia asked. The watch is actually a very old relic, even in this time period. It was found during an expedition into Mysteria, where the machinist was keeping the time traveler's stopwatch. It allows one to travel to the center of time, and then travel to different time periods freely, without having to pay the toll. What toll? Like money or something? Eris asked, digging into her pocket and pulling out a few coins. No. This toll can only be paid with something that isn't on the material plane. What it refers to is like a memory or years of your life. Depending on the person, it can be different. So, what is this center of time place? It sounds ominous if you ask me, Antonia chimed, leaning against one of the giant roots of the tree. The center of time is just that. In that place is where you will find a creature by the name of Nexus. Yes, here in Osiria, Reen and her temple may be the center of time. Yes, here in Osiria, Reen and her temple may be the center of time. But Nexus is at the center of all time, from every dimension. He is the one who decides what it is. He is the one that decides what will serve as a person's toll when they come to him without the watch. The four of them nodded deep in thought when Ozzy looked up at the huge tree before them. "That is one massive tree. I've never seen anything like it," he said, leaning back further and further, until he fell on his back. Leaning back until he fell. Leaning back until he fell to the ground. "That's because not many know what it is or of its existence until they come here," Andy said with a mysterious voice. "What is it?" the four of them asked in unplanned unison. "This is the center for all life in Osiria, the world maple tree. Without this, life in Osiria wouldn't be possible. Yes, Minerva was the one who started life, but it was this that she had hoped to create first. As life in Osiria took root, the tree would grow to meet the demand of the people living in it, since it is a direct line into the life stream itself. Such a power couldn't be left unattended and open to the public, because tampering with the tree could make life very difficult or stop life altogether. So Minerva and Chorus made a dimension where the tree could feed Osiria, but also be protected from it and any ill intention. The statue you pulled on was the doorknob, and anyone who has ill will won't be able to open the doorway." My mouth is dry. Nathan was about to ask another question when the doorway from the leaf ray forest opened and the others walked back in. And the others returned. With the addition of Aufheben, who happened by the others as she was flying. Happened by the others while using her free time. Okay. Okay. Andy skillfully created the other 11 watches from some Andy skillfully created the other 11 watches from some metal ingots he had brought with him. Then passed them out. Trying not to look Aufheben in the eyes, since no doubt she might have some questions for him. Aufheben accepted the watch, but when she looked up to thank him, she did her best to contain the sudden rage she felt towards him, deciding that it was better to confront him in private. Deciding it was better to confront him in private. Ah, there we go. Deciding to confront him in private. Let's see, privately. Okay. All right, that should do it. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go through the time portal first. After that, each of you may follow with at least a 1-second interval between you. Once he was finished, he walked to the steampunk clock, beginning to pull levers and twist knobs until the entire face of the clock hissed with steam and opened to reveal a swirling blue energy of time. The swirling blue energy of time itself.